everybody, so I'm going to do a video today about making smooth movement in our JavaDraw. This is a video that I'm recording while my current class is doing classes, but it could be something that we could really use, I think you'd have the skill to use really throughout any of our JavaDraw projects. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, it's basically this. Smooth movement is typically when you write your code, if you do any kind of movement using like keys, it's going to be kind of like very stuttery, like where if we hit right and have that just... it might just move the character one pixel to the right, and I hit another, hit another, to have it kind of move. And that's really jerky, and it's not pleasant, and it's not very doesn't feel very fluid. But instead, what we're going to do in smooth movement here is be able to get something like this, where just as we press the keys, you can hear me smacking away on my keys here. You can see it kind of moving very smoothly. Yeah, and so it's basically the object on the screen is going to move as long as the key is pressed. And that really kind of gets into the code. As long as the key is pressed, the thing is going to move. As soon as I stop pressing, the thing is going to stop moving. And so let me just walk you through it. I'm going to share this code inside the comments of this. You'll have a link to the GitHub for this. But I want to kind of walk through what the code is actually asking, what the code is doing. But you're welcome to use the code in your own work, but you should understand why it works in order to kind of modify it for your own purposes. So let's take a look here. Basically, just kind of identify. I try to put comments in here, so as you look through this later, you'll remember what's happening. But the key, I think, the central idea of all this is that we're going to have a bunch of global Boolean values, up, down, left, right, and they're all initially going to be false. And then, okay, so here's what I want to have happen. Let me see, where can I start with this? I guess what I'll say is that I have my animation loop in here, and inside that animation loop, I'm constantly running the method move. What does the method move do? Down here, we can see that if the value left, and some of you will feel more comfortable if I write something like this, well, spelling correctly. But if I said all these things, if any one of these Boolean values is true, I should move the hero, and in this case left, it's going to be -5, 0, because that's going to make it move to the left. I put in -5, it could be really whatever, depends how fast you want your hero to move. The key point here, okay, if the Boolean value left is true, this will happen, and it is constantly getting called. So we're constantly checking, hey, is this thing true? Is this thing true? Is this thing true? And we're kind of acting accordingly. So now the question is, okay, well, we said that everything is set to be, quick interruption there. So I think where I was leaving off is like, okay, well, we said if this, this value is going to be true, then it's going to move. Well, we said they're all false. When are they going to be set to true? And that's happening down here in the key down method. So in the key down method, obviously we know, hopefully if you're watching this video, you know already that how the key down method works. But we're going to say if that key pressed is up, then we should set the up Boolean value to be true. And so that is going to set the value to be true. And now when our loop runs, this thing is going to suddenly be true. This is going to be activated, and our hero is going to move to the right. And we could see that kind of same process happening for up, down, left, right, all that stuff. But if we only did this part of the code, then our thing would just run forever because, right is now suddenly true. Okay, it's going to run forever to the right. So we need to also add in here key up, which means when the key is released. So if we press down the right button, it's going to be true. As soon as we release, that right Boolean value is going to become false. And so it's a combination of these things. Boolean values that are getting set that are constantly being checked and being changed from true to false based on your key clicks. And what's also good in here, you'll notice that one other thing to point out in here is that I have a bunch of if statements, not if-else statements. And that allows me to, when I run my code, I think I just disappeared it. I'm going to finish up in just a second here. That allows me to go to diagonal. So I can press this and go in kind of any direction at once because it's checking each one of those statements. If it was an if-else, it would check the first statement. And if that was true, it would not check any of the other statements. So having a bunch of if statements in here lets me do this kind of smooth movement. Okay? All right, so I'm going to stop it there and give you some more, hopefully, helpful tricks in a minute.